compassionate, the merciful, come, believers, and listen to the last of the 1001 Nights' Tales.
The story is the story of the 1001 Nights, the Arabian Nights, but we have chosen to tell the story of the 999th, the 1000th, and the 1001st. Why? Because these were the last of the series, and Shahrazad, the storyteller, has to tell these stories to save her life every night. King Shahryar has told her that if I don't like the story, I will have your head in the morning. So these stories are a story with an edge.
A voice of gold, more precious than unspeaking gold itself.
Sing, is the 999th night. I take a tale from the window of the garden of history.
If she doesn't sing as he wants her to sing, then she can potentially die. So there's that underlying threat that creates the drama. She tells three stories. So we've got the first story, which is quite a serious drama, the second story, which is a much light-hearted story that really draws you in, and then the third story, which then completes the version of the end, basically, of the first story.
See her journey into her marriage with King Shahryar. At the beginning, she's very reluctant, and at the end, she's torn between feeling a sense of resignation and a sense of nervousness about what this marriage will bring, and perhaps a sense of acceptance and resignation as well.
Inside each story are stories of Harun al-Rashid, the great Caliph of Baghdad, and the terrible, fateful decision he made in the pursuit of pleasure and happiness and love to put together his vizier Jafar and his sister Abasa as singers, but they fall in love, and that love is forbidden. So in Act 1, or the 999th night, we have the songs that they all sing.
My song, my lord, is the song of the swan.
In between, we have a light-hearted, romantic, fluffy, candy floss tale of Prince Jasmine and Princess Almond. And in the very last act, Act 3, the 1001st night, Harun al-Rashid exacts his terrible revenge on Jafar and Abasa.
It is time. When his face, death comes for sure, by night or day.
It's one of the finest stories in the world, and nobody has told this story as we are telling it. What particularly drove me to do this is the translations, old translations, from the Arabic into the French, into the English, of the poems that were sung on the 999th night. And these are exquisite translations with wonderful poetry in them.
With really well-known stories like this that are, obviously you've had like the Disney versions of Aladdin and stuff that everyone knows, and you kind of want to avoid falling into the cliches of maybe things that people immediately associate with it. So I tried to create a musical language that was quite fresh, quite new, even though it's inspired by maybe a few Middle Eastern influences.
I think his music is very special. It's new and exciting, but it's accessible and it's friendly to the audience. There are tunes, there are melodies that you can take away with you and remember.
The choice of Leighton House is perfect. There is no better place you could find in which you could perform this piece, and we're so grateful to the Borough of Kensington and Chelsea for letting us have this for a performance.
We're essentially playing the opera upstairs in the main room, so we've got there a balcony, we've got a beautiful window seat, and we've got the stage, which is where we've got the orchestra. Having those different elements suits the episodic quality of the story, so we've got these sort of little areas that we pick out and that we draw one to the next to the next.
I think there are 3 songs which do it for me. The love song, which starts with the Song of the Rose between Abasa and Jaffa. The appallingly menacing song which Haroun sings, called the Song of the Falcon.
The rule of silence is my profession. My sole virtue is discretion. When I am sad, I remain discreet. I give us my routine. You will not find my head down and cast. On my old dead eyes weep all what's past. And yet, what not in bright says Veronica, so will all right hands in my naughty night. Kings become servants, royal hands cast from my wings to beat. I spare their hand beneath my soaring feet.
And then the final song is the Song of the Hoopoe, when everybody who is listening to the Walking of the Mists can find wisdom, and those who are not will not.
In the creaking of the dawn, in the buzz of birds, in the murmur of insects in the dust, that man cannot see the breeze sporting, the light of midnight, the colors of the sea dawn. For there is no wisdom in that sky.
The end is the first time that all the characters are on the stage together, and it's the summation of the music, of the drama, of the emotional journeys that all the characters have been on, and it's very, very special indeed.
My